Electrical conduit bending is a fundamental skill for electricians. It involves shaping metal or plastic conduit to create pathways for electrical wiring. Understanding the principles and techniques is crucial for neat, code-compliant, and safe electrical installations. The purpose of bending conduit is to create smooth, gradual curves and offsets that allow wires to be pulled through the conduit without damage or excessive friction. Proper bending also ensures that the conduit system fits precisely within the intended space, avoiding obstructions and maintaining structural integrity. There are several types of conduit commonly used in electrical installations. Firstly, rigid metal conduit, often referred to as RMC, is a heavy-walled steel conduit suitable for outdoor and corrosive environments. It provides excellent protection against physical damage. Secondly, intermediate metal conduit or IMC is a thinner-walled steel conduit than RMC, offering a balance of strength and weight. Thirdly, electrical metallic tubing or EMT is a lightweight, thin-walled steel conduit commonly used for indoor applications. It is easily bent and cut. Fourthly, rigid PVC conduit is a non-metallic conduit made of polyvinyl chloride. It is resistant to corrosion and often used in underground or wet locations. Now let's talk about the essential tools for conduit bending. You'll need a conduit bender, which is a tool specifically designed to create bends in conduit. Benders come in various sizes to accommodate different conduit diameters. A hacksaw or conduit cutter is needed for cutting conduit to the desired length. A reamer is used to smooth the cut edges of conduit, removing burrs and sharp edges that could damage wires. A level ensures that conduit runs are straight and level. A tape measure is essential for accurate measurements and marking of bends. A marker or pencil is used for marking the conduit before bending. Before bending conduit, it is essential to understand some key terminology. The stub-up refers to a 90-degree bend in the conduit, typically used to transition from a horizontal to a vertical run. The back-to-back bend involves two 90-degree bends in opposite directions, used to create an offset. An offset is a bend that allows the conduit to change elevation, typically used to go around obstacles. A saddle bend is a 4-point bend used to navigate over an obstruction and return to the original plane. A kick is a small offset bend, typically less than 45 degrees. The gain refers to the amount of conduit length that is effectively used up when making a bend. This needs to be factored into the overall conduit length calculation. The take-up is the amount of conduit length that is consumed within the bender during a 90-degree bend. The deduct is the amount that needs to be subtracted from the conduit length to account for the take-up. When planning a conduit run, firstly, measure the distance between the starting and ending points of the conduit run and identify any obstacles or changes in elevation. Secondly, determine the type and size of conduit required for the application, considering factors like environmental conditions, wire fill capacity, and local electrical codes. Thirdly, plan the layout of the conduit run, including the number and type of bends required. Minimize the number of bends to reduce wire pulling friction. Fourthly, calculate the total length of conduit needed, taking into account the gain and take-up for each bend. Fifthly, mark the conduit at the locations where bends will be made, using a marker or pencil. When making a 90-degree stub-up, firstly, measure the desired stub-up height. Secondly, determine the take-up for the bender being used. Thirdly, measure and mark the conduit at the take-up distance from the end. Fourthly, place the conduit in the bender with the mark aligned with the arrow on the bender. Fifthly, apply pressure to the bender handle and bend the conduit to 90 degrees, using a level to ensure accuracy. For an offset bend, firstly, determine the desired offset distance and the angle of the bend, typically 30 or 45 degrees. Secondly, calculate the distance between the two bends using trigonometry or a bending chart. Thirdly, mark the conduit at the calculated distances. Fourthly, make the first bend at the desired angle. Fifthly, rotate the conduit and make the second bend in the opposite direction, ensuring that the offset is in the correct plane. When creating a saddle bend, firstly, determine the height and width of the obstruction to be crossed. Secondly, calculate the distance between the four bends, typically using a bending chart or online calculator. Thirdly, mark the conduit at the calculated distances. Fourthly, make the first bend at a shallow angle, typically 10 to 22.5 degrees. Fifthly, rotate the conduit and make the second bend in the same direction. Sixthly, rotate the conduit again and make the third and fourth bends in the opposite direction, creating the saddle shape. For conduit cutting and reaming, firstly, measure and mark the conduit at the desired length. Secondly, use a hacksaw or conduit cutter to cut the conduit squarely. Thirdly, use a reamer to remove any burrs or sharp edges from the cut ends, ensuring a smooth surface for wire pulling. When selecting the right size of conduit, firstly, determine the number and size of wires that will be installed in the conduit. Secondly, consult the National Electrical Code, also known as NEC Chapter 9, Table 1 for the maximum allowable fill percentage for conduits. Thirdly, select a conduit size that provides sufficient space for the wires, without exceeding the maximum fill percentage. Some common bending mistakes include overbending, which is bending the conduit beyond the desired angle; underbending, which is not bending the conduit enough; kinking, which is creating sharp, undesirable bends in the conduit; doglegs, which are bends that are not in the same plane. To avoid overbending, use a level to check the angle of the bend as it is being made, and stop bending when the desired angle is achieved. To avoid underbending, double-check the measurements and marks before bending and apply sufficient pressure to the bender handle. To prevent kinking, use smooth, consistent pressure when bending the conduit and avoid using excessive force. To avoid doglegs, ensure that the conduit is properly aligned in the bender before making each bend, and use a level to check the plane of the bend. Some tips for professional-looking conduit runs include planning the conduit run carefully, minimizing the number of bends and using symmetrical bends whenever possible. Use a level to ensure that conduit runs are straight and level, and use conduit straps or clamps to support the conduit at regular intervals. Neatly arrange and secure the conduit, creating a professional and aesthetically pleasing installation. Always comply with all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations, and use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. For example, NEC Table 310.15. B16, which was formerly known as NEC Table 310.5, provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on insulation type and ambient temperature, so ensure you are using the correct wire gauge for the anticipated current. Electrical conduit bending is a skill that requires practice and attention to detail. By understanding the principles, techniques, and tools involved, you can create neat, code-compliant, and safe electrical installations.